Are you ready to learn to get rid of stress in your life? To learn how to deal with the emotional turmoil that causes strokes, heart attacks, bad health, and even weight gain? Life-changing habits for work, family, and everyone you deal with start here with Andrew Wittman. It's time to get warrior tough. Here's Andrew Wittman and Dutch Coleman.
All right, it's time to get warrior tough, the most monumental hour in media anywhere, where your leadership and mental toughness coaches Andrew Wittman and the Dutch Coleman.
Good evening.
You make it back from Dallas, okay, Dutch?
Yes, I'm feeling good. Feeling good. I gotta. Oh my goodness, I'm dropping stuff over here. I'm feeling great, man. I'm happy to be home.
I'm glad you're home safe.
Had
brother.
a long weekend. Yeah. Oh man, I'm telling you. So I'm amped and ready to go.
Yeah, that's awesome. 6s and 7s. Okay, so listen, if you want to jump in on the conversation, use the hashtag GetWarriorTough. Dutch is at the Dutch Coleman. I'm at Warrior Tough PhD. The website is getwarriortough.com. Listen, guys, I would really like to hear from you tonight on this subject. I am not sure, Dutch, how I feel about this yet.
Well, I'm feeling great about it. I'm feeling good, man, because number one, we're going to give the good people, some information that can only help them. And any time that people are doing what we're going to reveal to the world,
yeah,
it's good because we can't act like we can't then in turn utilize these same skills and same tools for our own good. You know what I mean?
No, I'm with you on that. I just,
like you said, but like you said, people need to pay attention and comment because this may not stop.
No, this is just the beginning. It's just the beginning.
And if they pay attention, they can become less a victim of it. And they can see how it can help them. So that's why, like you said, they need to be paying attention and commenting and getting involved in this discussion.
So, and this is only the beginning of, I believe, a giant shift. Now, listen, Dutch, last week we talked about the state of the American workplace and how one half of the entire workforce is unengaged. They're disengaged, and that's 3 out of 6 people. 1 out of 6 is actively disengaged, sabotaging the business, and 2 out of 6 are actually engaged in pulling along, right? So the question is like, all right, so how do we get people engaged? So this, I'm telling you, what we're about to talk about tonight comes directly because they're trying to engage workers. I'm not sure I like how they're doing it.
Right. And people are going to understand what they're doing. They're going to understand why. You don't have to like it, but you better be aware of it. And as we always do, we're trying to make you aware. We're trying to make you smarter. We're trying to make you better in the game that's going on each and every day around us.
Right. So this is an article that came out at the beginning of April 2017 in the New York Times by Noam Scheiber. And Noam, if I'm saying your name wrong, I apologize. Noam Scheiber, it's an excellent article. And the title of the article, the headline is How Uber Uses Psychological Tricks to Push Its Drivers' Buttons. So in this article, Uber is kind of the whipping boy. And, you know, I wrote a couple. I was interviewed about all the stuff that's going on at Uber. I wrote an article about why you should hire veterans and athletes for Uber and entrepreneur. We did a show on it. So Uber is kind of like the poster child right now for disastrous corporate culture. But listen, they're not the only ones doing this, and we're going to go, I don't know if we can get through all this, but we're going to get through some of the meat of this. Buckle up, because what the company is doing now, you and I, Dutch, we teach a thing called people whisper, and that's how we get people to move towards a target, right? So we use psychological manipulation, if you will, persuasion, influence, the laws of influence. We tap into it. Uber is taking it to another level where they have reams of stables full of social scientists that are experts on how to manipulate people. They have data scientists. They're mixing it with kind of like an AI machine tech thing in their app where it does testing and machine learning in real time. And so it's not just a con man that's influencing you. I call it a con machine that is influencing you.
And they're doing a great job of it. We're victims of it. Again, you can become less a victim of it by not getting mad, but learning the ways of the machine. When we talk about the human machine, we don't get mad at what the machine does. We learn the ways of the machine.
Yeah, because it is.
And then we take control of it.
Yes, you're right. We're not going to get mad at it. I'm just not sure whether I like it or how I can use it to our advantage yet. But I'm working on it, Dutch. It's so.
Right.
Listen, this stuff that's going on. They do the same. Okay, so listen, guys. If you're on Facebook and you've ever got an ad on Facebook, right? And then you bought something, right, or Google Ads, and you go to a website, and then 3 days later you see whatever product you looked at on Amazon. I'm like, dude, that's the AI machine that's like it's queuing you up an ad that's relevant to you. It's micro targeting. And then they use this social science and big data. They put it together with an AI machine learning platform to get you to buy stuff. Marketers have been doing this kind of manipulative influence persuasion stuff for decades. But go ahead.
You know, the funny part is that theoretically is helping you theoretically, right?
Yeah. I mean, it can
let
be
me
used
help
for
him
good.
find what he's looking for. I'm going to keep putting this stuff up because I knew he was looking for it last week. So now I'm going to throw So they can look at it in a twist away as, no, we're just trying to help. No, not really.
Yeah. So marketers have been doing that. Here's the thing: is there Uber and other companies, including Google, Microsoft, Facebook, Lyft is also doing this. They're taking those principles that they use to get customers to do stuff, and they're using it on their own people. I can't say employees because Uber, they're contractors. They're using it on the Uber drivers to get them to do what they want.
Right. And it's brilliant.
It's brilliant. Work harder and longer for less pay so we make more money. You don't, as the driver, make more money, but we do as the company, and we keep stringing you along and manipulating you into doing our work.
If you're doing this stuff for potential customers, right?
Yeah.
Then you can do it for employees. If the science is the same and the manipulation is the same,
the human machine is the human machine. We all have psychological weaknesses that can be exploited, Dutch. You're 100% right.
And if it's good enough for the goose, it's good enough for the gander, right? So that's what they're doing, and it's brilliant. Now we can question it when it's being used on us.
Yeah, we don't.
Because if I'm doing it to get customers, I'm like, oh man, this is a great idea, man. Let's do this. Let's get these customers in here. And then when it's on me, I'm like, whoa, hey man. So it all goes back to what we just said. Focus on not getting mad at the machine, but learning the ways of the machine.
Right.
And we're going to turn it around and see how it can help us get what we want.
Right. And stop saying it ain't fair and all that stuff, because all you're doing is going down a rabbit hole. It's not fair. It is what it is. It's only getting more prevalent. I'm not going to say it's getting worse because I'm not sure it's worse. And listen, and I started to track my own stuff because I'm like, they're tracking everything that I do. I might as well start tracking what I do. And they queue me up stuff that I like, man. I get ads on Facebook and Twitter that I like. They don't give me junk that I don't like looking at, man. It's very smart. And I appreciate it because I don't want to have to go through 40 ads I don't even want to see of stuff that I'm not even interested in. So I ain't mad at them.
It's all tied in together because if they see me looking for heavy machinery and tools and all these different things, so every time I click on a new website, I see the ads pop up and it's that. I mean, it'd be better than if I'm not looking for, let's say, women's shoes or bags.
Well, now let me say, Dutch, this is much easier now that everybody in the family got their own device to shop on. Because I would pop up the family computer and there'd be like Victoria's Secret junk on. Then there's fishing rods and like lacrosse sticks and all. I'd be like, where everybody's looking because it pops up on the ads on my Google, right? So it's much better now. I don't get all those other, women's shoes ads.
Right. So again, theoretically, it can be good because they're popping up things that I'm interested in, even if I know what they're doing.
Right.
It would be worse if I saw baby diapers and I'm done having, little ones and I keep seeing ads for baby diapers. Yeah. I'm like, what do they keep throwing baby diapers up there for?
And then you better go, check with the wife because maybe she's been looking at baby diapers. And maybe there is another one coming. I don't know. I'm just saying. All right. So let's jump into this article before we go down that rabbit trail. All right. So Uber, what happens is they have a lot of turnover with their drivers, apparently. Okay. And they haven't been necessarily gotten good press for treating the drivers cordially or humanely, shall we say, right? And so the drivers are trying to get protected because there's no insurances. They're completely an independent contractor. Every driver is running their own business, basically, through the Uber app. So they're trying to soften their image. They're trying not to be the, quote, brilliant jerks, right? And that's a quote from the article, brilliant jerks. Okay, so Even Uber is trying to determine to treat they're saying we're determined to treat our drivers more humanely. It's engaged in this extraordinary behind-the-scenes experiment in behavioral science to manipulate them in the service of corporate growth. Okay, so the effort is to get them to drive longer and during hours that are peak times, so that the prices, the ride cost doesn't go up. There's not a surge in pricing, because that's how they're beating the cabs. Now, you just were out in Dallas and you said that the cab drivers were getting killed by Uber, right?
They're upset. They hate Uber and Lyft and all those other things.
Right, because
they just hate
undercutting. They're undercutting their cost. Well, Uber takes 25% off the top, and then the drivers get the stuff that's left over, but they have to cover all the gas, they have to cover the mileage, the wear and tear, the insurance, and all that stuff. And we're finding in this article, a lot of them aren't even making a profit. They're running a loss. But Uber's making a profit. So Uber's goal is to keep these people on the road, not paying them more, paying them less, keep the ride prices down, which hurts the take-home pay of the drivers, but keep them on the road longer so Uber can keep making the cash. And I ain't mad at them, man. They're in business to make money, so I ain't mad at them, I guess. I'm not mad at them, but drivers need to be aware. But you also need to be aware that this is probably happening at your place. And listen, Dutch, it does happen at your place of work. If you've ever been in a sales competition, all that is a mechanism to persuade and influence you to do harder work for less money.
We only got a minute left in this segment, but
Already?
I would challenge people to think about what's going on in their job and jot some of the things down, and not to get angry again, to get angry,
just be aware,
but to become aware and to learn and to build and say, okay, this is what's going on. How can this help me?
Okay, so when we get back from the break, we'll talk about how they're using this back channel, this behind-the-scenes stuff, and it's really affecting what they call the gig economy, where it's all freelance-based. And here's some of the gig economy is also like Lyft, Uber, Amazon has that Mechanical Turk thing, and then there's the Fiverr and all these other freelance places where people will do stuff you could get them to do, like your transcribing. We've used the people for graphic design, Dutch. We've done video production. We've used them for editing some of our writing. We've used it for all kind of stuff. So the gig economy, where a bunch of freelancers are out there, and you find them online, that's turning into that's a big piece of the economy, man. Big piece of the economy. All right, so we're up on the break. Listen to Get Warrior Tough Radio Show with Dutch and Andrew. We'll be right back.